Welcome to today's Explainer. I've got to tell you, I am absolutely pumped to be your guide as we unpack a truly massive leap forward in artificial intelligence. If you follow the AI space, you know things move fast, right? But what we're looking at today is a literal paradigm shift. We are rapidly evolving from those simple chat windows where you just type a question and get a single answer to actual, relentless operational powerhouses that can execute sprawling projects. Today, we're breaking down the highly anticipated dynamic workflows update for Claude Code. We're going to map out exactly how this technology works under the hood, so get ready to completely rethink what's possible when you combine human strategy with raw AI execution. All right, let's jump right in. 1,000. Until literally just a moment ago in AI time, using an AI meant a one-on-one conversation. You ask, it answers. But with Claude Code's dynamic workflows, a single human can now act as a high-level manager, commanding an army of up to 1,000 autonomous AI agents, all running in parallel. Just think about that sheer scale for a second. It's basically like instantly hiring a massive, highly skilled workforce that operates at lightning speed. But, that immediately brings up a massive logistical headache. How do you actually manage an army of AI? If you're a forward-thinking manager or a developer, having thousands of digital workers at your fingertips is absolutely amazing. But let's be real, it also sounds like a recipe for total chaos. How do you orchestrate this massive parallel workforce to achieve flawless results without having to micromanage and babysit every single step of the way?
Well, here is exactly how we're going to break it all down today. First, 1,000 AI agents unleashed. Then, from prompts to harnesses. Third, inside dynamic workflows. Fourth, the power of adversarial review. And finally, getting started made easy.
Okay, part 1, 1,000 AI agents unleashed.
The sheer scale of this update is just wild. We aren't talking about a single assistant anymore. This is an entire autonomous enterprise. Let me give you a concrete example directly from the source material to show you what this actually looks like. A user gave the AI a complex directive: formulate a comprehensive corporate financial strategy. Immediately, the system didn't just start typing out an answer. No, it automatically spawned 24 specialized agents. 5 of them were dedicated purely to deep dive research into financial data. Others were given strict roles for fact-checking and cross-referencing. This massive swarm essentially formed a busy digital office, and it ran completely autonomously, zero human intervention, for about 8 solid minutes. For even heavier tasks, the source notes this swarm can run on its own for 30 minutes to over an hour, ultimately delivering a release-ready, incredibly accurate result.
Moving right along to part 2, from prompts to harnesses. If you've ever spent hours, maybe even days, pulling your hair out, trying to craft the perfect prompt, get ready for a serious lightbulb moment. Traditional prompt engineering is rapidly becoming outdated. Think back to 2022 and 2023. We were all completely obsessed with it, right? Meticulously crafting paragraphs of instructions, begging the AI to adopt a specific persona. It was exhausting. Then, in 2024, the focus shifted to context. We started feeding the AI massive amounts of background data, plugging it into Slack and internal docs for better situational awareness. But today, the absolute cutting edge is all about harnesses and loops. Top-tier developers aren't just tweaking prompts anymore. They are actively building systemic, self-sustaining architectures.
Because the big takeaway right now boils down to this simple equation: agent equals AI model plus harness. Having the newest, fastest AI model on the market is no longer enough on its own. Every foundational model has limits. The real power, the absolute secret sauce that makes an agent capable of handling a massive project, is the overall system built around it.
So what actually is a harness? Think of it as the overall architecture. It's the complex web of tool connections, the safety permissions, the strict guardrails, and the operational loops that simultaneously drive and restrict the AI model. It's what allows the AI to securely gather external info, take action, and check its own work in continuous loops. And trust me, those guardrails are vital. You definitely need a strong harness so your autonomous agent doesn't get confused and accidentally email your entire company the draft of an unannounced project. The harness transforms a simple chatbot into a relentless digital employee.
All right, part 3, inside dynamic workflows.
Let's pop the hood and see exactly how Claude Code manages this swarm. The core logic is beautifully simple, running in 3 precise steps. Step 1 is divide. The AI takes your massive, daunting project and intelligently slices it up into smaller, manageable subtasks. Step 2, parallel execution.
The system spins up multiple independent agents to aggressively work on all those subtasks at the exact same time. It's pure parallel processing. Then, step 3, integrate. The system patiently waits until every single specialized agent is completely done, and then it seamlessly merges all those moving pieces back together into one polished final product. The AI is basically acting as a master delegator.
Behind the scenes, keeping this whole massive orchestration from falling apart are a few vital technical mechanics. First, it's all driven by hidden JSON scripts running silently in the background. Second, it relies heavily on continuous validation loops, meaning the AI isn't just flying blind, it is constantly pausing to check its own work and recalibrate. Third, it uses hooks. Think of a hook as an automatic trigger. The exact millisecond one agent finishes its subtask, a hook fires off to kickstart the next action, ensuring zero downtime. And crucially, you have the ability to customize your budget and set strict turn limits. This is an absolute lifesaver to make sure your swarm doesn't get caught in an infinite loop and run up a massive bill.
Next up, Part 4, the power of adversarial review. So, with thousands of autonomous agents running wild, how do you make sure the final output isn't completely riddled with hallucinations? The answer is adversarial review. This is easily one of the most fascinating quality control mechanics in the system. You basically assign one specific dedicated AI agent to actively play devil's advocate. Its entire job is to have a bad personality. It operates exactly like a relentless, grumpy senior editor who refuses to accept subpar work. It looks at the content the other agents produce and deliberately tears it apart, aggressively demanding revisions. By having this internal fact-checker constantly looking for flaws, the system drastically raises its overall accuracy long before a human ever sees the final result. And this ruthless review process is exactly why these swarms can tackle the truly difficult jobs. Historically, AI has been famous for 0-to-1 development, writing a brand new script or building something completely from scratch. But modifying an existing, massive legacy system, that's usually a total nightmare. Changing one line breaks 10 others. Standard AI usually fails miserably at it. But armed with dynamic workflows and that rigorous adversarial review, these agent swarms are actually capable of diving deep into incredibly complex legacy codebases and successfully upgrading them without breaking the whole entire system. To prove this isn't just some shiny new experimental toy, we have to look at the massive scale examples from the source material. We are talking about instances where 750,000 lines of complex code were systematically tested entirely autonomously. Or take the breathtaking example with Rakuten, an AI task executed non-stop for 7 straight hours to complete a sprawling objective. Think about that. For 7 hours, thousands of agents were spinning up, researching, verifying, and integrating, without a single human ever needing to step in to fix an error. This is enterprise-level capability.
Okay, but we need a serious reality check right here. While dynamic workflows offer incredible scale and accuracy, the major con you've got to be aware of is the token cost. The source speaker shared a very transparent and frankly eye-opening personal anecdote. Across multiple accounts, running these massive parallel tasks was costing them around $550 a month. Let that sticker shock sink in. $550. Standard AI, by comparison, requires a lot of human prompting, but it's incredibly cheap, so you absolutely must monitor your budget limits when letting an army of 1,000 agents loose.
Finally, Part 5, Getting Started Made Easy.
Now, despite the intimidating complexity of the backend systems, those JSON scripts and adversarial loops we just covered, deploying this entire swarm on your own machine is shockingly simple. You do not need to be a command line wizard. Step 1, open the Claude desktop app. Step 2, select your preferred AI model. Step 3, and here's the magic button, you just adjust the complexity dial to Clever or Smart mode. Doing that automatically activates the dynamic workflow silently in the background. You just type in your massive request, hit enter, and sit back as the swarm goes to work.
Oh, and for the developers out there who prefer working directly in the terminal, it's just as seamless. You simply run the specific effort command flag. That kicks the system straight into ultracode mode, unleashing the agents right from your command line without any extra friction whatsoever.
Which brings us to a really great piece of strategic advice from the source. Use standard AI for simple tasks, but unleash dynamic workflows for heavy research and development. Because, honestly, given that intense token cost we talked about, you definitely don't want to use an army of 1,000 highly trained agents just to write a polite email to your boss. Keep standard AI for that. But when you need deep code-based testing, expansive market research, or robust strategic planning, this swarm is for sure your new secret weapon. And that brings us to our final empowering question for you.
What complex project will you delegate to your autonomous AI swarm today? The days of sitting alone, constantly begging an AI for the right answer are fading fast. You are a manager now. I highly encourage you to download the app, crank that dial to clever, and experience the sheer power of dynamic workflows for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep learning.